All right. This is Keith Weaver with the Top Executive Strategy Podcast, where CEOs and COOs and business owners share strategies for success. This is 6 questions in 9 minutes because the best strategies are concise business advice. And so let's get to it. So the first question, in just a few sentences, tell us who you are and what you do.
Yeah, my name's Wade Millward. I'm the founder of a new startup company called RiKor. We're focused on creating real-time connectivity within the insurance industry.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on the startup. Hopefully it's a huge success over the years. So question
Yeah, that'd
number
be great.
2, what's the best thing about being a business leader?
I think the best thing that comes to mind for me about being a business leader is seeing when you're able to help people, seeing them become successful over time because of the way you're able to assist them.
Developing other people. That's awesome. I enjoy that as well. So question number 3, I hear from other leaders that people strategy can be more of a challenge than business strategy. What are your thoughts?
I 100% agree with that. I think the most challenging thing in business, my experience in the past 13 years within my career, is managing people, what role they like, where they fit best, their capacity, their output. It's very, very challenging.
Well, and it plays into the business strategy a lot of times, whether or not your business strategy is successful or not. So
Yep.
That's great though. Okay, question number 4. What's a great strategy that you'd like to share with other leaders?
So I think the one thing that comes to mind here is personal empowerment and helping them have ownership over what they do. And when I say ownership, I mean also autonomy. So often we give people processes and we tell them that they have to follow these specific processes or these standard operating procedures. But then what happens is you often limit them in their ability to think outside the box and be able to own that task all the way through, because they're so fixated on that very specific process that they are afraid to deviate from it at all, even if there's something better out there. So what we like to do is we like to establish processes, but at the same time, we also want to enable them to think outside the box and to be able to identify any issues within the existing process and to have complete ownership. When you give somebody complete ownership at the same time, you can't then reprimand them if something goes wrong, right? You have to allow them some autonomy and make mistakes and encourage them to continue to proceed. The moment you reprimand them is the moment then they put their guard up. They no longer want to do anything outside of the box, and they follow the process exactly how it is, which then again limits them. It puts them back in the box, and that is not good for them. It's not good for you. It's not good for business.
You have to have a lot of trust in those people, like you said, to let them have that autonomy. So
Yep, absolutely.
That's a hard thing for a lot of business owners, I think, to do.
Yeah, very hard. Absolutely. Yeah. They have a hard time trusting and letting go. But if you allow people and you leverage their talents, right, you're going to be so much more successful in the end.
Very well said. Great job. So question number 5, what other business leaders like yourself would you like to acknowledge or you think would be good on the podcast?
One of my mentors, his name is Jeff Frazier. One of the things that I saw him do throughout his career is the ability to pivot under extreme circumstances. And when I say pivot, I think I saw him pivot within his organization at least 7 times. When he initially started out, it was graphic design, and he ended up creating custom software for some major players. And it was amazing to see him do that. So he definitely comes to mind.
That's awesome. Good example too. So one final question, then, kind of a fun question. Tell me about your favorite boss, past boss.
Oh man, you know what? I thought about this, and the first guy that comes to mind, and unfortunately I'm forgetting his name, but I worked at P.F. Chang's when I was from 16 to 18 years old, and I was a food runner turned into a server. And I remember this guy down there. He was super cool. He was the manager of P.F. Chang's. He had a BMW. Anyway, I don't know why he comes to mind. I've also only had one career for 13 years. And, but that guy was cool, man. He was good. He was nice. He was personable. It was good to work with him. So that's all. Yeah.
Well, he obviously made an impact that you remember,
He,
and it comes to
I
mind.
guess, I guess. Yeah.
But, all right. Well, we have about 3 or 4 minutes left. Anything else that you'd like to talk about, or any other advice that you have for business leaders?
Going back to, again, developing people as a leader, right? I think often we want to have the answer all the time as a leader. That's, in my opinion, not the role of a leader. I think the role of the leader is to be able to cultivate and foster discussion. Get the people that you've surrounded yourself with that are talented to be able to communicate and talk openly and honestly. The moment you start to take over is the moment everybody else shuts up. Now, when you're the only one talking in the room, then you realize there's a problem in the room. And so my belief is that the leader should speak last. He should wait for everybody else to get their opinions out and help them collaborate. That's your role as a leader. Get the people, get your colleagues, get your employees talking with each other to come up with solutions to the existing problem. Now, if you're always the one coming up with a solution, it's not going to be the best solution. I can guarantee you that. You may have input and may have feedback, but there's a lot of other people out there that are a lot smarter than I am that are going to come up with a better solution, especially when they're all collaborating. Anyway, I think that's so critical, and I think it's so difficult for red personalities, which is often a leadership personality that we kind of assume. But just shut up, close your mouth, let everybody else talk, help them talk, right? Get the dialogue going. I think that's key.
That's awesome. Great advice. Well, thank you for being on today. And before we go, can you tell people how they can find you or get a hold of you?
Yeah, I'm super active on LinkedIn, Wade Millward. And then my email is wade@RiKor.io.
Awesome. All right. Well, this is Keith Weaver, and this has been the Top Executive Strategy Podcast. For more insights and to follow us, you can go to LinkedIn and follow us at Weaver Business Coaching or Top Executive Strategy Podcast. And best success.